At home with Power BI, I'm Zahir Brahman from Sigma BI. Today I'm going to show you how to create a measure by using DAX. I'm also going to show you how to format your DAX so it's in a readable format. We're also going to use an external tool to see if we're doing that correctly too. Now this is a must for anybody that's just getting into Power BI and wants to learn more about DAX. You need to get the foundations right, and if you get the foundations right, everything else will hopefully, fingers crossed, go smoothly for you. You ready? Let's go take a look. Let's go. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to start with a couple of DAX formulas. And the purpose of this video is basically just to show you how to format the DAX calculation in your measure. Now, I'm actually into the bad habit of putting the DAX formula into one single row, and then if I have any issues, I'm having to look through it and trying to find where the problem is. I've done this from the start for a few years ago, so I'm trying to improve it as I go along and trying to correct the format. This video is just basically just showing you what the format should be, and if you follow it from the start, you'll get better and it being a better and a more readable format. All right, so what we're going to do now is just show you a quick measure. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is go into new measure, the top. Okay, what we want you to do as well is get into the habit of putting a hashtag at the beginning. Now the hashtag at the beginning, it basically brings up the measures from middle of the table to the top, whichever table you're putting it in. For example, when I finish this, you'll see where the measure ends up in the table we've selected. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to show the percentage of the sales amount for the category that we've got. All right, so this is how I do it, and what I'll then do is show you how it's supposed to be done. Okay, so I'm just going to put on all. Okay, so I'm going to do the divide function, do the sales amount, then I'm going to use calculate function, sales amount, all function, and then product. Okay, so then I'm going to close up parentheses to make sure that I've got them all in there. Okay, I'm going to enter that. Okay, and I'm going to change it to percentage. Okay, so if we go to the right hand side now, I want to put this in the table, and as you can see, as I was saying to you before, if you put the hashtag, it brings it to the top of the table. So if you've got tables where it's got a number of columns in there, and the more you model, the more measures you put in, they kind of get lost. And if you don't know the exact names, you're going to be searching. I've done it in a couple of videos that I've uploaded as well here. It does get lost within there. So best practice is put a hashtag before it. It'll come on top. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put that in there, and that gives you the percentage. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to bring the DAX formatter. It's SQL BI. They've got their own website where you can put the DAX format in there, and they'll be able to tell you how to format it. So I'm going to bring it into the screen now for you. Okay, so this is the DAX formatter. So if I just paste that into it now, it's going to tell me how it needs to be formatted. So if you click that, it's basically saying that's the way I need to format it. So what I can then do is copy that, open that. So on the right hand side, arrow, let's expand it, paste that in, press on the tick. So when it comes to formatting, this is the way we need to do it. So as you can see from the first line, that's the name of it. The second line, then what function I want to use, open the parentheses. Once you've opened the parentheses, you go on to the next line, which is the sales amount. And then as you notice, when it comes to the sales amount, I put the comma has been put at the end of it, and that's when it starts on to the next line, which in this case is the function. Okay, so the function calculate, and then the final function, it has the sales amount plus the all, and it closes it up. Now I would have thought that after this there would have been another one, so a bit like that, but DAX formatter is kind of done it this way. It's not wrong, but I would have thought it would have put on another line. So that, and then at the end, yeah, you have the last parenthesis. So we know that that is for the first parenthesis. It's in relation to the first parentheses. So that's how we format it. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to do another measure, and I want to see if I'm able to take that on in my new measure and format it the right way. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's see if we can walk it through. So I'm going to create a new measure, and I'm going to say the percentage of the category. Okay, right, so first of all I'm going to, the right hand side, just expand it, and now I'm going to start clicking the measure. So category. Okay, so now that I put the equal sign, I'm going to go into the next line. Now the way you get onto the next line is if you press shift and enter. Shift and enter then takes you on to the next line. Alright, so I'm going to put the divide in and open the parentheses, and as I said to you before, when we open the first parentheses on the first function, we go on to the next line. So we press shift and enter, and goes on to the next line. Okay, so we're going to get sales amount, and then comma, and then I'm going to use a calculate function again. So what we're going to do is, do we put it here or do we go on to the next line? If I remember correctly, it's on the next line. So I'm going to shift, go on to the next line, click on calculate. Okay, now that we've opened another one, we're going to follow the same structure that we've been doing. So when we open parentheses, what happens? We go on to the next line. So I'm going to shift and go on to the next line. And then put the sales amount. Okay, and then I'm going to put a comma. What happens when we put a comma? We go on to the next line. Okay, now that's done, what we're going to do is put another function. Now let's do another line because that's the format we've been following. Open that, and then we're going to put the last one, which is product brand. Okay, so now we're going to close that one, which will then specify which one we're closing. We then press shift and enter, it goes on to the next one. We want to close up for the second one, and then shift, enter, and close the last parentheses. Alright, so here it actually, it's a lot more clearer now that we're doing that way. And like I say, this is something I need to improve on as well. But as you can see, is every function that I do, I can see what function is the table on and column that I'm basing it on, and it brings up lines on the left hand side to specify if there is an issue. So say for example there was an issue on line 6, it would highlight that, and I'll show you that in a second. Let's just see if I've done this measure correctly. Okay, so and because it was a percentage, I just need to click the percentage, format that correctly, and then I'm going to put this on the table. Okay, so that's that done, and this is based on the categories that we've got. Alright, that's how it's done. That's how we are supposed to format our DAX, and this is how we are supposed to put it in a readable format. And I think within organisations as well, we need to be careful when we're creating reports and dashboards and creating measures. And the reason why I say this is employers do tend to move. So if you're a contractor and you've gone into an organisation and you've done all this, you want to leave the quality of work behind, where the next person who takes up the reporting and wants to see what you've done, they'll be able to see the information and measures that you've created. And it's all about leaving good work, really, good quality work, so they're able to see and they know how you've done the calculations, so they can then build on that if they need to. Quite important. So just before I go, I'm just going to just delete one parenthesis, and then what I'm going to do is press enter and see what that comes up with. Okay, so it's automatically put another parenthesis in there, so it's worked out that the way we've done it, it's calculated that there's one more parenthesis that needed. That's what it's done. So what I'll do is let me just take out this comma and I'll try it. Okay, so you see now it's basically telling me that on line 6 here there's an issue. And what that issue is because we've taken the comma out. So if we put that comma back in, it then fixes that. So it's another reason why we should be putting the DAX formatting this way. And if you do have any issues with it, you've got the DAX formatter that you can go on. That website that I brought, it's the DAX format. If you type it in Google, that will come up and you'll be able to copy and paste them in there, and it'll give you the correct way to do that. Brilliant. I hope that's helped. It's definitely helped me just doing that with you guys, and I'm going to be doing all my measures this way as well, even the small ones, just to get a bit more practice on it and get get to that standard where all my measures are accurate and in a readable format. Great stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope it's helped you. Any questions, please just comment below or get in contact with me. At home with Power BI with me, Zahir Brayman. Learn with us by subscribing to our channel to get updated on our latest videos.